go live. Welcome, it's a Sunday night, and you guys thought we were going to go live without smashing that banger on at the start. I don't think so. Hadji's thinking there for a wee minute, eh? Hadji's thinking there for a wee minute.
Had me thinking.
And that takes a lot today. I'm joking. I know. There's no way we could have started this show without having some nod to the absolute classic banger. As far as bangers go, that are like, would you call them, the identity of films? You've got Terminator's theme. Mortal Kombat's right up there, considering it was never used in the games until 2011, which we will get into. We'll get into that. But tonight's a celebration. True? That's right. The game never had that. That was never made for the game, and the game refused.
Sworn that was in the game. Obviously,
not.
My memory's just skewed.
Well, here's how I know, right? Well, I always played the games and I never heard it. But another thing, as I remember, and I do, what year was it? I've got it here all in my notes. But the year that they actually included it for the very, very first time was a trailer for one of the latest at the time, one of the latest Mortal Kombat games on the PS4, because I don't think it was before the PS5, right? And Damien was like, "Come here," and I'm like, "What is it?" And he's like, and I'm watching this trailer going, "Oh aye, oh aye, oh aye," and right at the end of the trailer it goes, "Da da 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 da," and I went, "Ah!" We're both like that. It's like they acknowledged it finally. They finally incorporated it, because the game had never ever incorporated that into the game. They'd never acknowledged it until this trailer, which was used as a marketing to really.
See, I remember like back in the early 90s seeing adverts for the game with the guy standing in the middle of the street shouting Mortal Kombat. Was it not even in that?
No. People like, so you hear Liu Kang. These are from the game. Johnny Cage, Raiden, Sub-Zero. These are from the game. Finish him and all this. Those are actually from the game. But the song in its entirety was never ever used. They took snippets from the game to create the song. Well, I've got a wee bit written about that when we get to that part. But it is iconic.
What's that?
That's my way. I know, it's my way of getting around the copyright strike, which I've not got round already. Right? We've had our first one at the start, and here's our second one. Here's the trailer from. Yeah, that's what a trailer should do to you, mate. I was boogieing all the way through that. Matthewman says, "Evening, gents. Evening, Matthew, man."
I'll tell you something though. It doesn't leave you guessing for very long about what film it's going to be, does it? Like, it's a wee bit ambiguous at the start, and then Sub-Zero and Scorpion just come out at the same time. You're like, oh, wonder what this could be.
I guess that's that then. Matthewman created this absolute wee pelter earlier on. So really hurt. Jaden.
Kevin.
Who am I supposed to be?
Keno.
Am I? Oh, Kevo. Class. I wasn't sure. Jaden.
Jaden and Kevo.
There must be a million different Jadens now, because that's like such a popular name, isn't it? Jaden.
Aye. It's never a sound guy, is it? It's always some wee wanker with fucking curly hair and pink specs.
Oh no, tell me about it, man. So before we get smashing right into this film and everything, that was absolutely beautiful about it. And I will mention as well, Damien again wrote us a wee piece for the same purposes, because this, I mean, Damien liked Street Fighter. Damien adores Mortal Kombat. There's a difference there, so be a bit more in depth. And it'd be great for. Don't get me wrong, I know a lot about the games as well because I was a big fan. Still am. Know as much as Damien, so that's why it's always good to draw from that. But what was your first experience playing the game?
I played it on my Amiga, and it was actually a demo. It wasn't even the full game. It was just a demo disc. You could only I think you could only play as Liu Kang, and I think you only get to do like 3 fights or something. But I played it over and over and over again, like a lot on a joystick.
They were the days. I remember doing that
on a joystick, and it was the first time I'd ever seen blood in a computer game as well. So
did it traumatize you?
No, not this time.
You turned the blood off in games, right?
What was it you first said that about? And I was howling. So I bet you turned the blood off in games.
Good, good. I think now in games you can turn blood off. You know what I mean? I think you can in the WWE games. I think that's about it. Most games now it's like blood or that's it. You know.
I remember I used to love playing Turok, the Dinosaur Hunter, on the Nintendo 64, and played that with the Blood Oath once. It was fucking crap.
The Dinosaur Hunter, like there's such a fucking thing. You don't hunt dinosaurs; they hunt you, motherfucker.
He was doing a fairly good job when I played it.
Just you couldn't tell because it was no blood.
I turned it on, right? I turned it on.
For real. I used to play this game with my brother when I was a lot younger on the Wii. Pardon me, not on the Wii, on the Nintendo. And my memories were always great of it. And then I during lockdown collected a lot of old consoles once again, only to go, I can't see. I can't see. Then it reminds you why you should sometimes just leave nostalgia in the past.
Am I not right in saying that the Mortal Kombat for the SNES didn't have blood, or it had green blood or something?
I don't recall specifically, but probably.
The Mega Drive and the Atari version did have, sorry, not Atari, Commodore, Amiga. That had blood. I'm sure for this, because the SNES was like a more kid-friendly console. Even back then, it catered way more towards kids, whereas Sega kind of tried to bring in kind of older gamers. I'm sure there was something there. Maybe somebody like Matthewman could enlighten us on that one.
100%. Project VO Pod says, love the layout, guys. Big MK fan. Not very good at MK1 lol. I'm more of a political content creator. However, I like listening into kind of stuff like this to get away from that stuff. Keep it up, gents. Well, thank you very much, Project VO Pod. Hope you're having a good Sunday night, and anybody that might want to check out some political content, head over to Project VO Pod. Thank you very much.
Because you're not going to get it here.
I know. Thank you very much for commenting on my lovely wee layout. I spend so much time on these wee things. I don't think anybody ever notices, but you have. That makes me feel good because it takes me fucking hours. Go back and check out the intro if it still exists by the time you see it again, because YouTube are never sound and giving us, like, keeping us with the
They don't really like it when you steal copyrighted material. They're not very sound.
No, I would say I was merely promoting, right? Because everything
was up in court the other day for a GBH. The judge wasn't sound like.
No, but think about it. I'm spending time here, right, promoting this, so that the hope that someone will watch this episode and go, that was great, and they'll go buy it, you know? Mm-hmm. They'll then go buy the film. So we're trying, but YouTube just needs to be sounder. Matthewman says, I was a SNES kid. The MK game had dust and no blood.
Listen, we need to make this more kid friendly. We're going to keep all the violence, but we'll put dust in it.
I don't know. Janice, hope you're doing well. Hope you love Mortal Kombat. So this episode is about the Mortal Kombat film, the live action movie. And look at this, I'm sitting on Gizmo. Sorry, Gizmo.
Better than jizzing on Sitmo.
This actually, do you know when I picked this Gizmo up in the shop, I was like, I have to get it. And this is literally what I said to my wife. She's like, "Why do you want Gizmo?" I says, "One, I love the Gremlins, right? But two, I'm doing a deep dive of Gremlins with Janice at the at Christmas," and she goes, "Who the fuck's Janice?" I forget she doesn't watch a show.
Who the fuck's Janice?
I'm in Primark like that. No, I need it for when Janice comes on. And she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Who's Janice? Your nephew's sister.
Janice. Jamafred. Aye, but needless to say, she's supportive and was like, "Right, fine, get it." So this week will be shown.
Anybody tuning in right now is going, "Why the fuck's he hotting up a Gizmo for a Mortal Kombat podcast?"
Talking about a Jamafred. Oh, this is your fault, Jay Mack.
Where did you find that?
On the internet, wherever you find everything else. Duh.
I love the way you say
by
that,
the
like
way,
a Glasgow uni student on the internet.
Duh. And by the way, did you notice E Honda was also in Mortal Kombat? Anybody that's just tuning in, this is a running joke from last week when J-Mac profusely slagged me for assuming that Arsenio Hall was in Street Fighter, even though I got it mixed up. All right, he gave me such a hard time, then went on to say that E Honda was also in Speed, which we then later discovered he was not.
So you say later. You looked it up exactly as I said it to fucking get me back.
I was like,
you're like,
sure.
At the back of your mind when I said it, you're going, no. Yeah, wait a minute.
Hell, man.
It's doing.
That's true. That's exactly how it went. So the film. I absolutely love the intro of this film.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's got a killer intro.
You obviously have watched this film more than I have, and like it wasn't a staple in my upbringing watching this film.
Should have been.
So I was kind of going into this with the same mindset as I went into Street Fighter, where I like knew it was going to be crap, but I have to say, when that New Line Cinema logo popped up and that music started, I was like, I just had a big grin from ear to ear, like
so
total cheeser.
You know, a bit in Still Game where Jack and Victor are sitting with their pipes and they're going like that with their leg. That was me. I'm like, I was like, yes, like. For the purposes of the tape, I was putting a cigar in my mouth.
The music kicked in, and then obviously the logo appeared with the flames coming through it and behind it, and it was a great opening. I bet we wished it went on a bit longer. It only goes on for like 40 seconds.
I know. And do you know the best it is? Once that happens, it goes to Shang Tsung fighting Chan, who's Liu Kang's wee brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we know what happens. Chan gets absolutely malkied, right? Soul gets ripped clean at him. And then guess what? Then Liu Kang's like, ugh! He's like, oh no, right? He gets a telegram, right? And you remember that again, to quote Still Game. Oh, hi, how you doing tonight? Your dad's dead, come home.
Wait, I've got that in my notes.
What it says? Brother dead, return home.
I've got that in my notes. I was like, clearly they had to pay for telegrams by the word.
That was savage, mate. Brother dead, come home.
Brother dead, return home, grandfather.
He's like,
I was expecting a pamphlet for the gas board. Get this?
no. Brother dead, return home, grandfather.
Break it to him gently.
Brother dead. Full stop. I do feel that we were missing the emotional range of Liu Kang there. It's like, brother deed. What? Him? Who killed my brother? That's it. At no point is like, man, I just missed Chang. Do you know what I mean? At no point.
I
You know what I mean?
missed you.
It's like, well, then why did you run away, hypocrite?
Aye. You
Hmm.
wouldn't be missing them if you didn't fucking run away.
I love the introduction to all the characters. It's excellent. And you get Johnny Cage, who I believe, if anybody's ever played the Saints Row games, or even knows the Saints Row games, right? Saints Row, I think Gat was clearly modelled off of Johnny Cage, right? Johnny Cage, well, there's one thing that always kind of threw me off about this, right? Johnny Cage is getting a lot of bad press, and he's on a movie set. His career's on the decline, and the critics are saying that he's a fake. Like, they're saying in his movies, he's not really doing all those fighting moves. And I'm like, no.
Like, if he was, people really would never choose being a stuntman as a career.
Right? So I don't understand that. The press are like, yeah, he's a fake. And he's like, yeah, I'll show them these moves are no fake. You're in a movie.
It's like, why? He should have just Dave Schultz them.
You know, it's the definition of fake. They're not really dying. And there's skill. So I think they could have worded the press a bit different, you know? So
I think so. I never even picked up on that. It's so stupid.
Like, they're saying he's fake. He's like, I'll show them this one's no fake. It's like, you're in a movie. You're going to do this several times. He's not. This is the part where you fall down. It's fake. It's supposed to be fake. They should be congratulating him.
Predetermined.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation, my friend. One that we don't have time for.
How much did you love the wee Steven Spielberg for Wish showing up?
Oh, I know. Johnny, I love you.
The guy was just dressed exactly like Steven Spielberg dressed at that time.
For a minute, I had to go,
Is that him? Is it? This is Mortal Kombat. Probably no.
I love it as well. Like, Liu Kang returns home and he's like, I'm going to do the tournament because he finds out that Shang Tsung malkied his wee brother, right? So I'm going to do a tournament. Why? For vengeance. No good reason. To save the world. Okay, you're in. It's like, that escalated, man. That escalated so quick.
Escalated quickly.
You don't think so? It literally happens like that. Right? They're like, wrong answer.
Aye. So you give me one more shot. One more shot. To save the world.
Before he even knows why there is a tournament. Yeah? So at this point in the story, he doesn't even know that they've lost 9 out of the 10 tournaments that allows Shang Tsung, sent by mail order by one Shao Kahn, the Emperor. There's always an Emperor, right? So Shao Kahn has sent Shang Tsung this whole time, for 9 centuries, to come and do a tournament, which he tries to cheat in anyway, to then, when it gets to 10, they can then take it over just like they have the outer world. But Liu Kang doesn't know any of this, but he says, I'm going to go to this tournament. Why? To kill the guy that killed my brother. Wrong answer. To save the world. How does he even know the world's in jeopardy? He doesn't find that out for Raiden until they get there.
Let's talk about Raiden for a minute.
Raiden my biscuit tin.
Man, actually, like when he first showed up, I kind of forgot it was Christopher Lambert. And then he showed up. I was like, oh aye. But what was really funny is when he shows up, he's obviously kind of hiding his face, and then he walks in, and it's not until he lifts his head up that the wee guy that's known him for centuries is like, Master Raiden, It's like, did you know Ken? Does everybody dress like that visits the place?
I know.
No, I mean,
No.
but like, he just there was a one point where he did it was the very first time that he does the Christopher Lambert laugh in the film. A wee bit of me thinks that he wasn't meant to do it. It seems improv because it makes no sense. Because he actually says, he's like, the fate of billions rests on you. Sorry. He even says sorry after it. It was like, I think he might have just chucked that in there and they went, fuck it, leave it in.
Probably. I think he was excellent in this.
He was Christopher Lambert in the shit out it.
Aye. It's one of those things for me that's like, he's always Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod, but this is a close second when you rank up.
Thanks. He never came back for this. He never came back for the sequel.
Did he hell, by the way?
He's not really known for turning down bad sequels, is he? He must have looked at the script for Annihilation, and even he's like, I know I'm Christopher Lambert, but fuck no.
It's like, I would stay here, but they keep calling me Lambert.
It's Lambert.
It's Lambert. Lambert. And yeah, he's calling everybody Lambert. Who was your favorite Mortal Kombat character in the game?
Liu Kang. It's the only guy I could play. Only had a fucking demo.
For me, I always went Sub-Zero. Quite like the idea of freezing the balls off somebody and then smashing them into nothing. But
wait,
I think
I know. Actually, I used to play Scorpion as well, and I think it gave you Liu Kang, Sub-Zero, and Scorpion. I think that's what it was, because I used to do Scorpion all the time because I loved the get over here. So yeah,
which is
good special effects.
It's like, get over here, get down there, subscribe,
subscribe.
Get over here!
It's like everything he says is like that. Get down there, even in the film.
Gets him after he shifted. He's like, I'm starving. Where's my tea?
Get it over here.
I'm wetting my hole.
Put it over there. You know what I mean? I thought the casting of this film was pretty superb. Do you not think?
It was pretty good with one exception. And I think we're probably going to agree on who it was. Sonya.
You think so?
She was so miscast in this. Like, she was picked because of the way she looked. And
well,
they never really, it seems like she didn't really spend much time learning how to fight or hold a gun or scan a room for baddies. Everything she did was pretty bad.
The thing is, though, did you know Cameron Diaz was initially Sonya Blade? But she broke her wrist during the filming, so they recast her.
I don't think she'd have been any better. Again, I think she'd have been picked because of the way she looked, as opposed to her skill. Pick a martial artist for it.
Well, see, the woman that plays Sonya Blade is Bridget Wilson Sampras, right? Who, for me, she's in Last Action Hero. For me, I always confused her when I was young. Oh God! She's in Billy Madison.
She plays the bus.
She plays the Honda. But she's also in Billy Madison. Now, for some reason, when I was a kid, I used to always get her and Alicia Silverstone confused. Easy to do, right?
When you're a kid, aye.
So that's why I said when I was a kid. I didn't mean that to sound as arsey as it did, by the way.
It sounded like a total wanker there for no reason.
No. And I realised that I was like,
I was just agreeing with you, and you're like, "I fucking right then."
The thing is, I didn't even I never intended that to be like that, like to come out like that. But when I heard it back coming at my head, I was like, "Wait a minute." That's what I mean. Like when I was, that's why what I meant to say is I don't get confused with that now, you know. But then back then I did. She's been in some good films. She was in House on a Haunted Hill. That would have been the remake, I know. She's actually a future episode. How's not? Mortal
Why
Kombat.
why do we keep having to do episodes on films that I fucking hate? Every time I say I hate something, you're like, do an episode on it.
I think it's because I'm inherently always trying to change your mind. You know
Stop
what
it.
I mean? Fair dues. You need to actually pick something for us to watch that you love, right? So that because I've realised it's been a long time since we've picked something that you already love, and that's when we get the most emotional J-Mac is when we watch something you love.
That's very true.
And we've not had that for a while. It's just been you sitting there and a half. Joking, but we should. So she's been in quite a lot. I understand what you're saying. By the way, she doesn't come back in part 2 either. It's funny because Annihilation picks up exactly where Mortal Kombat finishes, and half of them are all recast. Right, as well. Even though you can see that Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade are starting to get close, they don't have like an amazing relationship. They've just started getting close. They're not in love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Straight away at the start of the second one, Johnny Cage dies. She spends the rest of the film like, why did Johnny have to die? It's like, you only just.
That's the thing though. They're actually pretty antagonistic towards each other for most of this film, like most of it. And it's just at the end, there's like a respect between them more than anything else. And then it's like, oh, there's what's the big emperor's name? Shao Kahn.
Shao Kahn.
It's like, oh, there's Shao Kahn. Right, we better get pumping. Like, where did that come from?
No, it doesn't make any sense. James Remar comes in as Raiden, right? And, which is strange. Sonya Blade is Sandra Hess.
Who?
Sandra Hess.
Never heard of her.
Exactly. Brian Thompson is Shao Kahn. He wasn't at the. That's not who you saw at the end of the first one. But when he comes into the mortal realm, he is the man himself, Brian Thompson. Fucking get back to me, Afric.
What happened to him? He was meant to be coming on.
Nah, no.
Was
his
he?
agent?
Was he?
Well, his agent spoke to me, but who knows? Yeah, maybe he's busy next week, folks. We'll play this wee clip. We've got a wee comment here. Oh, sorry, I didn't even realize there was a couple of comments there. I don't know why. Ginny says, "Oh yeah, loved it." Then, haha, Gizmo is dope as fuck. Agreed. Oh wow, I feel loved. 100%, Ginny. See the effort I go to, man. Look at this guy. Do you know what? See this guy. See if I turn him inside out. Guess who he is? Gizmo.
Me.
This guy actually turns inside out and turns into Gizmo. You know that?
I think I remember something like that. Is that an old thing?
Nah. It's no. Glad we sorted that out. Slasher Fred says they sure don't make movies based on video games anymore. I remember when the Super Mario Bros. Movie came out and it was a big flop, and of course I'm referring to the 1993 movie. Well, 2 weeks ago we covered the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and then that's what made us decide to then do Street Fighter 2 days ago and Mortal Kombat tonight. So we're on a bit of a roll. So we've been on a wee bit of a video game roll. The Mario Brothers wasn't terrible. Still enjoyed it. Turns out J-Mac hated Street Fighter. I thought it was still charming. But Mortal Kombat for me is up there. And you're right, Slasher Fred. Mortal Kombat and movies that are based on video games are not always done well. The Last of Us TV series happens to have been done well, and the reason I know that is because J-Mac likes it. My wife is the biggest. My wife is the biggest fan of The Last of Us, so I had to watch it because I already know everything about it because of my wife. We literally got artwork of the game in our living room, and so that's her thing. And I think she says, bar some of the casting choices, they've done fairly well with The Last of Us.
What's it like having a wife that's into cool stuff and no just fucking live, laugh, love things?
It's pretty epic, actually, because we
this
can
is
have
a
those
doggy house.
No, it's good because I can go and sit in the living room and she can be doing her thing and I can be doing mine, but we can still take interest in what we're doing. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. When she turns Gilmore Girls and all that passion, I'm like, oh no. right? No, she has no what else she does, and I'm going to be straight with you lads. I'm going to be straight with you here, right? She puts on this thing called Maths, Married at First Sight, UK, and I'm like this. Oh, here we go, right? I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm not watching this. I'm like, nah. She's like, oh, look, isn't that out of order? I'm like,
Wait, I mind when my mate Dave turned me down for a drink one night because he was watching Love Island.
Well, we've always known that about Dave. I'm sure he's borrowed a few of Lee's wee aids at some point, right? I'm joking. But no, and then, now I'm like, oh, we've got Maths to watch tonight. Mind them behaving enough time to watch Maths, because all it is drama, man. There's something fun about watching other people's life fall to shit right in front of you. You know, it takes the heat off of your own life falling to shit right in front of you. Matthew says best video game adaptation of recent years was the Twisted Metal. Loved that show. I actually never checked that show out, and I should. I always played that, and you had to get the wee van with the mad clown he'd like that.
Sounds like a great show.
For everybody that's watching live, drop in the comments your favourite video game adaptation, because I'm sure there's some right belters out there that we've overlooked.
Or your favourite game you'd love to see an adaptation of.
Well, that would be awesome. That's an episode in itself, isn't it?
I tell you what, I did an episode on that.
I didn't play games. Excuse me, but I'm off to play Tiger Woods. Pro golfer.
Excuse me, I do occasionally play Tomb Raider.
Which the last film didn't do very well, but I think the Lara Croft, man, what the fuck? I think the Angelina Jolie ones for me were quite class, but I don't think those were even well received. I'm going to jump over here to Damien and a lot of the notes he's given me here, right, just to kind of get some contrast on the game and the source material in comparison to the film, which we love. Also, Damien says to me that this was actually like he and remember what I says to you, he's very cutthroat when it comes that fuck that, don't like it. Why? Because that guy's hair was never like that. Like that's how cutthroat he is. Do you know what I mean, right? But he even enjoyed this, so that speaks volumes about how good this was. Matthew also says Silent Hill was proper good. We'll love a Gears of War movie done right. Hey, by the way, Silent Hill, we have totally left that out. That was phenomenal. The first one was excellent. I never really played the game, but if the game's anything to go by with the actual movie, the movie was great. There's a part where a lassie's like that, big pyramid heads like that. Oh, what the fuck is going on? Right? And lassie's like, oh no! Right? And it's like, oh, you, me. Picks her up, right? Rips her clothes right off so she's naked, right? Bear in mind, pyramid right? Then grabs her here, right? And just rips her skin clean off.
Right?
Or skin right off. Holding a skeleton, throws a skeleton away.
Okay. Remember when the folk were kicking about dressed as the Silent Hill characters for the Love of Horror when we were doing that?
That's right.
And I was looking at them going, it's like, who the fuck are they? You're like, mate, it's Silent Hill. I'm like,
aye.
And I remember I kept looking at the legs because this one of them had fucking great legs, and we went over to speak to him. It was a fucking guy.
He had great tits, I know. Hey, by the way,
I was like, how you doing? He's like, you all right, mate? I was like, fuck.
Every time we go to any type of convention, there's always an awkward moment, and right, take a wee sidebar here for a minute, just for you, J Mac, right? There's one moment where we're down in Manchester, which is happening right now, by the way. I think Nards is back. He'll be on his way back now, right? But down in For the Love of Horror, and we're on, and there's a point where someone comes and grabs you and puts you on their chair, right? And they're pretending to cut you. But you know that awkward time where it goes on far too long and you're just like, this sucks, can I leave? Yeah.
The thing is, she when she grabbed me, she probably fucked me into that chair. I was like, ah.
And then she's like cutting and you're like,
we done yet?
And the second best time, like the actual pinnacle, right, was when Buffy the Vampire Slayer There was this Buffy the Vampire Slayer who was the
Feel like Biffy.
Buffy, who was the closest thing to Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the UK, right? Bearing in mind, she looked like that. She had both eyes were pointing the other, like opposite directions, right? And she came up. She's like 10 feet tall, right? And she comes up to us and she's like, "I'm basically Buffy. Do you want to do a wee thing for the camera?" And we're like, "Aye, okay, J Mac." You're like, "Okay, what do you want to do?" And she's like, "Right, okay, you stand there." And before you know it, she's like, "Right, everybody, clear a space." So she's now making a big fucking spectacle. And she's like shouting a spell at you and telling you what to react. And you're like, okay. And she's like,
I consider myself a decent actor at this point. But I was just standing there like an absolute twat. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? Ivan Drago's trying to stake me.
And the best it was is she's hitting you with patter, right? Telling you what to say, and you're not saying it correctly because one, you can't hear her. Two, it's literally off the cuff. And then she's getting frustrated with you. Like during performance, she's like, no, not that, say this. And you're like, okay, repeat after me. And you're like, okay. And I am standing there at the corner like, absolutely loving life watching you get.
You're the worst person to do things with sometimes. Like anybody else in my life would make an effort to kind of even just cover their face, or you're just like you're sitting there like one of the Halloween decorations in an electric chair.
It can't be hidden, mate. It can't be hidden. Even like at the side of the stage, live while we're performing to a packed, sold out place, and I literally threw you under the bus in front of everybody. And at the side of the stage, I'm just like,
Jordan, do you want to introduce the next guest? Next up.
Always be prepared, my friend. You never know what's going to happen.
Callum. That's his name.
Was it even Callum?
Yeah.
Was it? Oh. Goes to show her. I wasn't even paying attention. Mate, I checked out at that point. I couldn't breathe. I was just trying to get oxygen.
I can't breathe.
100%, man. I need to see the footage of that night if there is any. I'm sure they filmed it, but one day I'll collect some of the footage and we'll play it on this. It'd be hilarious just watching these moments. So J-Man,
Big Ennis was like, "You're drowning." It costs like 30 grand to make an episode of Coronation Street, and that's shite. He's like, "I was in Coronation Street."
He's like, and it cost 30 grand to make that specific episode I was in. Are you sure you're talking sense here, boy?
And I was like, well, you're drowning.
There's a wee bit of me and him, isn't there?
Big bit of you and him. Big Kevis.
Wee big. Yeah, that sounded innuendo. Well, we got another comment here from Slasher Fred. I love rock and roll. Mortal Kombat, that was a very hit musical song.
What?
I love the rock and roll Mortal Kombat.
Right. Okay, so there's been a rock and roll version of the tune. Is that right?
Oh, I think there's been a million different covers of it. Yeah, that song can be done. There's an epic version. There's a lot of really cool versions there. So here's for a lot of the OG Mortal Kombat fans. From Damien, he says, the Mortal Kombat 1995 movie is very accurate in the original game. While the game centers around Mortal Kombat tournament with a broader cast of fighters, each with their own backstory, the film streamlines the story, narrowing it down to a core trio of characters, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade. The game's emphasis on the brutal combat and the larger conflict between Earthrealm and Outworld, whereas the movie explores more personal motivations, relationships, adventures, and themes. These changes make the film more accessible to a wider audience, but sacrifice some of the game's complex lore and gritty tone. However, the creators were heavily involved in later made several retcons, retroactive continuity. He put that there for me, by the way. Do you know why? Do you know what? Right? It says, to the games, to make the story match the movie, right? Damien, when he's wrote retcons, he's thought, I've got to love him. He's wrote this and went retcons and went, Kev will know what that means. Also, if J Mac asks him, he's going to have to Google it. So I'll just fuck it in brackets next to it. Retroactive continuity. Thank you, Damien. See, that's a fucking producer right there.
It's great when you can look ahead at your own fuck ups, eh?
He's
Can't just get flung under a bus, you big prick.
Aye, that was class. Well done, Damien. Thanks. Retcons. I knew it's under. I knew what it meant. I didn't know what. I didn't came. If you asked me what is that, what was it stand for, I wouldn't know. But I knew the gist there. Fuck, I didn't know it. Matthew says, "What did you think of the new one?" We covered it. Remember, with our friend and filmmaker from LA, Giuseppe Lucarelli. We covered it.
That's right. I forgot we did it with him.
So go back in our archives and watch.
That episode actually did pretty well. Like, we still get random comments on that video for some reason.
100%.
There was nothing special about it. It was just another episode.
Nothing special. Speak for your motherfucking self, J-Mark. I thought it was every bit special. That's why it's done so well. I don't know. It hit some sort of algorithm, and it's done like fucking 50,000 views on Facebook. Fuck if I know, motherfucker. None of this makes sense.
You have done it on YouTube where we could have made money off it.
No way, motherfuckers. There's no rhyme or reason, mate. We put it out because we enjoy it. If you enjoy it, then make sure to check us out every Sunday evening at 9 p.m. where we go live with every film. And if you want to see us, cover something you love, fucking send us an email. We'll do it.
There's me with the fucking teeth again, looking like I'm the type of guy that always locks my keys in my car.
Let's see them again. The teeth. So he goes on to say the biggest difference to talk about is Scorpion and Sub-Zero's roles, as the movie completely sacrifices their legendary rivalry. That's the poster child for Mortal Kombat. I understand this. However, if you watch right at the very start, when Shang Tsung introduces them, he's like, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they are the greatest of enemies, but under my control, they are my servants. So, he's correct. And I think there was an effort made there to explain away why they're no battering absolute fucking lumps at each other. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand how he could just rip his own face off though and turn into fire.
It was just in the game. When that happened, I was like, fucking brilliant. I was like,
cool.
That's straight out of the game. And actually, funnily enough, I watched it with my son tonight. Because I started watching, I was about 10 minutes in, and I was like, I think Murray might actually enjoy this. So I went and got him from upstairs, because he watched Street Fighter with us as well, and even he said it was crap. And then, I mean, when a 10-year-old says a film like Street Fighter's crap, it is, right? But I thought, I'll get him for this. But I didn't have time to put it back to the beginning again, because I like to watch the film just before coming on the show. So I tend to just start watching it. I check the runtime, and then I'll start watching it just in enough time to then come on here. So I couldn't put it back to the beginning for him. But after it, I showed him the opening title sequence with the music and the logo. And then I showed him the gameplay for the first thing. And it happened to be Scorpion doing a fatality, and that was exactly it. Mask off, fire breath, fatality.
Nah, it was pretty cool, eh? Did you notice that the big tower as well is the tower that you climb during the game? Did you notice that? I thought that was pretty excellent.
I did think some of it looked a bit Castle Grayskull. See the establishing shot. Set designers on this film did a fucking good job when it came to the actual sets. Right? They really did. Like, there was elements of like Tomb Raider and Raiders of the Lost Ark and stuff like that, and it felt like that magical time in the kind of 80s and early 90s when they 100%. Still had to build all the sets. But there was some shots that were obviously green screen, and when I say obviously, it was fucking obviously green screen. Not as bad as the second one, but I'm going to say it. It's become a catchphrase of late. It adds to the charm. And the thing is, you can always tell when a big wide green screen shot's coming, because the bit I remember, like just off the top of my head, was when fucking Ken, Johnny Cage, it's the same guy. When Johnny Cage kind of runs out and he's at the edge of the cliff, and it zooms back really quickly. You could tell just by the way that the image kind of shakes and flickers a wee bit. You're like, there's a green screen coming. And it's just, again, part of the charm.
Natural. What was the one-liners like? See the part where Johnny Cage says to Liu Kang, "Here, take my bags." Oh, you want me to carry your bags? He's like, "Yeah, put them over there." And then he throws them in the water, and he just looks down and he goes, "Good job, I didn't ask him to park the car." It's like, come on, man. You'd be raging if your bags ended up in the water.
Johnny Cage did give me one good laugh. In fact, Murray pissed himself as well. See, when he went to get out of the boat with all his luggage, the both of us had a good fucking laugh at that. Because it's like, wait. Were you not watching at that point? Were you're facing your phone or something?
No. What? I mean, don't get me wrong. I was finishing off he's got all his luggage and he stumbles, right?
But the way he does it, it's like he makes absolutely no effort not to fall. But because of that, it just made it so much funnier. He basically stands up at the edge of the boat and just goes straight into the water, and it made us both laugh, which it was supposed to do. So it did something right.
It's very Roadrunner-y.
Meep. But like Johnny Cage, I think was perfectly cast, even though he wasn't a good actor. But I think that actually worked for the role because Johnny Cage, if he was a real person, probably wouldn't be a very good actor because most martial arts actors aren't very good actors.
That's true.
You know what I mean? There's a couple of exceptions to the rule. And in fact, I'll say it again. Jean-Claude Van Damme deserved an Oscar nomination for JCVD. The film itself was pretty run in the mill, but he gives a monologue in that is so emotional that he deserved an Oscar for it. It was fucking superb. Like I can't sing his praises any higher for that. But most of the time, martial arts actors are pretty poor. Like if they're a martial artist first and then get into acting, it tends to be a bit sugary.
I feel like Matthew Mann's going to hit us with a comment in a minute talking about what's his favourite guy?
Scott Adkins.
I feel like there's a Scott Adkins comment coming from Matthew Mann anytime now.
He's good if you... Oh, shit. He's good if you get the right stuff.
Some of these actors are really good. I thought Shang Tsung was phenomenally cast. I thought he was a great bad guy.
What was his? What's his name?
His name? The guy
Shang Tsung. Aye.
His name is Kari Hiroki Tagawa.
I knew that. I just wanted you to say it. But he's always, every time I've seen him in anything, he's always been a baddie. But he was a baddie in Showdown in Little Tokyo with Brandon Lee and Dolph Lundgren. He's a fucking great bad guy. Perfectly cast in this.
He plays Hayachi in Tekken, the movie as well.
I don't think I've seen Tekken.
That's something we might have to look at, by the way. And I need to get Damien's perspective.
Don't worry.
Mate, we have to. And I thought he was not a bad cast for Hayachi. But he's in pretty much everything. I think he's always going to be a bad guy, no matter what he's in. When you see him show up, you're like, he's in Ninja Turtles. He plays Shredder, does he not? No. That's
right, aye, he does.
Aye.
He's also in Speed.
Nice. He Honda with Speed.
But no, he does play Shredder.
That's right.
But he is a very, very good bad guy, and it's like some people are just born with bad guy genetics in their face. Do you know what I mean? Like I couldn't imagine him playing a good guy. If he showed up playing a good guy, I'd be like, this is fucking weird.
It would have to be somebody's uncle that teaches somebody how to fight. That's the only way he'd be accepted as a good guy. That's my uncle. He's going to teach me how to fight for the tournament. That's it.
Or somebody that used to be a bad guy but is now trying to be good.
But you still don't believe them.
There's always that element of mistrust. It's his cheekbones. He's got great cheekbones for a baddie.
Maybe that's what it is.
The fella that plays Liu Kang, that is one pretty man. Like that was a good-looking chap.
Robin Shaw.
Aye, and his hair deserved a fucking Oscar. That's clearly real hair. Oh, he's very.
He's a wetting man.
He's like Jean-Claude Van Chan.
Oh.
No, he's a cross between Jean-Claude Van Damme and Jackie Chan. With that build. Certainly in that photograph.
Nice save.
But he is a bit Jackie Chanish. Like back in the like Fearless Hyena days and stuff. But I thought he was a good lead.
He was very excellent.
He was obviously a fan of Friends. Went for the Rachel cut.
Right, you love that, don't you? But that what she's doing there, that's your desire.
No, head above the knees.
Right. You still reckon she's a terrible cast?
Aye, that went a bit King Kong. That bit was a bit silly. Where the fuck did that outfit come from?
Also, Shang Tsung's hair's grown a lot. I know.
Or is it just taking his ponytail down?
I don't know, because there's parts in it where his hair just comes down like Cat Williams, and then you look at it.
I know everybody's saying my hair looks different every time, but your soul is mine, motherfucker. As black folks, we drink Hennessy. We love Hennessy.
What do you mean?
But look at that! Like you can tell the way she's standing there, she doesn't know what she's doing. She's got no tone. She's like a slim model. She's not a strong. She's not athletic.
She shouldn't have been able to snap Kano's neck with legs.
And like you seen her kind of doing a bit of shadow boxing before her fight with Kano, and it was so shit. Like,
yeah. Ginny says we've been wanting to watch the series based on Fallout. That does look good. Janice. Matthew says you guys got to do Showdown in Tokyo.
That one I would do.
Shout out to the wee guy from Samurai Cop. Yeah, Gerald. Is it Akaruma? Pardon me.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I think his name's Gerald. Isn't it? He's in Samurai Cop. He jumps out. Matthew, if I'm correct, he jumps out the portal at the end.
Yeah.
To
He's
try
the guy with the Fu Manchu.
Yeah, by the way, I want to talk about Goro for a minute, right? Because there's a couple of things about Goro.
Goro was brilliant. I thought
Goro was excellent.
Like they did that was all practical with him. I thought they were going to use stop motion and stuff for that. Like in my memory, it was stop motion, but it's clearly puppetry, and it's fucking awesome, especially for that time.
Yeah, I've got a wee part written there about Goro, but see, before we mention that, right? Prince Goro, right? So he's like, right? Did you notice when he's like, Prince Goro, it is time. These humans have won. They've won enough, right? Every single battle he has, right, is just a guy falling on his back going, yeah. It's like, does Goro finish all of them?
At that point, Murray was going, "What's happening here?" I said, "I think it's just Goro flinging folk all over the place." I never showed you any of it.
Right? There's about like 5 different guys going, he literally just throwing them and they're landing on their back and going,
it was the same guy in 5 different outfits.
Right? Wasn't it? Like, I just thought, well, how is it that he's killing people, right? By bashing their faces and that. But then these guys, all they're doing is they're just getting suplexed. That doesn't kill you.
No.
They're literally just getting suplexed. They're landing on the ground going,
what he should have done was try to show them safe methods of takedown. And at least snap their knees.
All they'd have done is broke a leg. That's it. Unless they were indeed warriors and not built rang. Matthew says Goro looked better in this than the new one. Kinda agree with you, mate. Apart from the new one, I think Goro was like 5 feet taller than he was in this one. But by the way, another thing as well, when Goro fights, what's his name? The fighter at the very start that Johnny Cage recognizes, and he's like, "Oh, it's you," and he's like, "Yeah, it's me." What was the guy's
black
name?
Guy?
Aye.
I can't even remember. I actually thought it was Jax. And I was like, no, that's no Jax. He was at the beginning. No. He doesn't actually have much to do with it.
Do you know what's funny? My wife walked in here when I had it on, right? And she saw that guy and went, "Is that not the guy that's got the big metal arms?" I went, "Jax." I says, "No, he's not actually in this one." So it's funny that she thought that. I know.
He is in it. He's only in it at the beginning, and he doesn't have metal arms.
And then she's like, "Is that no Honda for Speed?" But the thing is, so when he gets killed right at the very end, right? Well, not at the end, but when he gets done in of Goro, because that's the first time you really see Goro fight, right? Which is a wee bit unfair. Grabs both his arms and then starts leathering them. And see, while he's leathering them, which is funny as hell, right? He's got his hands caught by Goro's 2 bottom arms. He's getting punched to hell, right? And what are they all saying? come on, just break free. It's like, he's not even in this fucking universe, man. And he's telling him, just break free, right? But the thing is,
have you seen that wee MMA video with it's two guys having a fight? It's like behind closed doors. It's not an event or anything. And the guy's in like a chokehold, and his coach is going, turn around, turn around, turn around. At one point, the boy just goes, I'm trying to turn around.
I'm trying really hard. Matthew says, if you're familiar with the games, it's a great watch. Aye, we're familiar with the games, Matthew, when we said that, man. Our damn internet keeps cutting out. I'm so angry. So if I miss the rest of the show, just know I love you all. Oh, ditto, Janice, and I hope your internet sorts its fucking shit out, man. That's some bad patter for your internet. I hope it all goes well. Aye, but the thing is, what I don't get, we're going to talk about him in a minute or no, right? Kano. What I don't get is it fair to say that the boy that Goro fights gets a few good goes at Goro to the point they're like, yeah, that's it, keep going. Yeah?
Aye.
There's hope. Right? Yeah. But then at the end, at the end of the fight, when he gets done in, before Shang Tsung's like, right, soul, right? He's like, flawless victory. No, wasn't he?
He does that all throughout the film. He says flawless victory all the time when it's no flawless.
It's like there was no flawless victory.
Annoyed me a wee bit. I mean, it was hard to get a flawless victory. If you got one in the game, you were like, fucking yes. But he said it was flawless every time.
Like, no, it was pretty balanced fight. There was no flawless about it. Hey, I think they just had it for effect, but that would have been great if they sorted that shit out. Because for the diehard fans, like a flawless victory means you did not hit your opponent once; he just malkied you.
The one thing that was missing for the film was this. Dusty.
Hi. I'm sure it probably was there. We just missed it. Kano as well, by the way. See if Kano was to be, and I know he got recast and then the most recent one, and he was played by the fella that was in Superstore, which was a great casting, by the way. But see if Kano was to be recast, he would be Butcher from The Boys. Do you not think?
I could see that. The thing is, he's obviously like a geezer in this. He's a London boy, but obviously in the new one, he's Australian. I don't know what his character's supposed to be. Is he supposed to be Australian?
Well.
Is that in Damien's notes?
Refer back to Damien's notes. Where are we? Let's find Kano. I don't know if I can see Kano here. Raiden, Sonya Blade, Game Motivation, Johnny Cage. Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero. Oh, I don't know if... Oh, no, there's Kano. Sorry, apologies. Motivation is the same, but less personal, as he hadn't murdered Sonya's partner in the game.
I mean, how much storyline was there to the original game?
Well, let's go through some of the character arcs here. Sub-Zero, in the game, Sub-Zero is fighting on the side of the Earth realm, but laments that his clan feels forced to by Raiden. Another big difference is Sub-Zero's death in the game was brought about by Scorpion, who regrets this in later games. Scorpion was a previous victim of Sub-Zero's clan, brought back to Half-Life by Quan Chi. Oh, it's a shame they never got him in it. To fight for Outworld after Quan Chi framed Sub-Zero for the brutal murder of his entire clan, wife and child. Scorpion leaves the tournament after killing Sub-Zero. Liu Kang. Movie motivation. Liu Kang seeks revenge against Shang Tsung, who killed his brother, Shan. In the Mortal Kombat tournament, he also feels a sense of duty to protect Earthrealm. Doesn't ken fuck all about it until he gets there, even though he's already said he'll fight for it. Game motivation. In the original game, Liu Kang enters a tournament to restore honor to the Shaolin monks and defeat Shang Tsung. His focus is less on personal revenge and more on defending Earthrealm from outwards invasion. By the way, was it Mortal Kombat? I've got it, I know. It's kicking about somewhere. Mortal Kombat, the one before Annihilation. No. Mortal Kombat. One of the games for the PS2. You play it, and Liu Kang gets fucking murdered right at the start, and I'm like, well, that's that then. Like, the games always went in different directions, and there's one where Shang Tsung's like, yeah, I'm just going to murder this motherfucker before we start this thing, right? And he gets absolutely smashed at the start. Johnny Cage, movie motivation. Johnny Cage is a Hollywood actor who joins a tournament to prove that he's a legitimate martial artist and not a fake, as many people in the media claim. Which is fine, by the way, if you claim that he's fake in his movies, but suppose they could have. I think they could have made a better effort to show that he was the legitimacy of him being able to fight was up for question, rather than them being like, what he does in the movies is fake, because it is. Game motivation. In the game, Johnny Cage's motivation is similar. He seeks to prove his martial arts skills, but his drive is more ego-driven, looking for fame and recognition beyond his acting career. I believe in the later Mortal Kombat games, Cassie Cage is the child of Sonya and Johnny Cage.
Right.
Let me just confirm that. I believe her name is Cassie Cage because I played as her when I played the later ones. Cassie Cage. Let's see. 100%. There she is. Cassie Cage. Fictional character. Cassie Cage is a character from Mortal Kombat fighting game franchise by NetherRealm Studios. She debuted in Mortal Kombat X as the daughter of martial arts actor Johnny Cage and Special Forces officer Sonya Blade, motherfucker. Aye, so she's the best of both worlds. So I was correct. Hey, check me, Damien. I can add stuff. Sonya Blade, I already went through that one. Shang Tsung. Motivations are the same as the game, with only difference being his murder of Liu Kang's brother to mentally manipulate him. So that didn't happen. Motivation is the same, but Kano, aye. Arlene was a character made solely for the movie. Arlene. Who was that? Arlene! No. Arlene. Aye, Arlene! No, Eileen. Oh, Arlene. That was him.
Scheme.
That was him that got absolutely ragdolled. That's who we're talking about, Arlene.
Right.
He was fake.
The thing is, why bother creating characters for the film when there's an abundance of characters already there anyway?
I think because they wanted to save them. Like, didn't he do this guy and didn't he use him as fodder because he's got a bigger story towards the end, you know? So,
yeah.
What in wrestling terms, you call those jobbers. You ever watch, if you ever did watch wrestling, did you ever watch it, right? And there was a nobody in the ring who didn't get an entrance, and then Kane would come down and absolutely like hammer them. And what that meant was like, let's get someone from the town that we're visiting, bring them in so they get their chance on TV. We get a chance to meet some new, fresh wrestlers. Get Kane to come down and absolutely kill them so that all our other wrestlers that we've invested stock and time into don't have to get leathered when we can just leather a wee dude. You know? It saves somebody that you didn't want to see getting leathered.
Like Todd getting chest slapped.
100%. 100%. That was
I've only heard the audio for that, but I can picture it, and it makes me
that was funny. Corn beef. Talking point. Here's a couple talking points from Damien, because, by the way, when we did Street Fighter, there was certain things that Damien says, I was quite gutted you didn't bring these things up. And I was like, oh, to be honest, escaped my mind. So I made sure to say, look, give me a couple talking points if you think there's things we should cover that we didn't. For example, last episode when we talked about Street Fighter, did you know that Kylie Minogue and Jean-Claude Van Damme actually had an affair during the filming of that?
I'm absolutely shocked.
Like, is that the first time hearing that? Because that's not the first time I heard it. I just didn't bring it up.
No, I think I heard it at some point.
And the fact that Raul Julia actually took the part of that film, not because he wanted to be part of it, but because he had to, because it was his kid's favourite game. So
yeah,
like,
I did know that.
100%.
I think he was having a kind of a wee send off that his kids would appreciate.
Aye, wee shame, eh? I like at the end. For me, I'm not. There's things I want to talk about to you about with the Addams family.
Imagine him up in heaven looking down and going, "Is that the fucking film that I get a tribute on?" Really?
I know. So some of the talking points here. Damien says, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who also directed the Resident Evil franchise and Monster Hunter, both based on popular video games, which, by the way, will be the reason that a lot of the cast here made it into the Resident Evil films.
Right.
Because some of the cast, I can't remember who it is actually in Resident Evil. It's not Bridget. Who was it? There's a couple of them. Aye, there we go. So Johnny Cage, Lyndon Ashby, he's in Resident Evil Extinction, which is a film created by our boy W.S. Anderson. So
Right.
that makes sense. The old stick by your pals. Eh? Soundtrack became the first platinum EDM electronic dance music. I knew that one, Damien. Record in history. So the first platinum in history. Think about that. I actually wrote my own part here about the theme, because the theme, as far as themes go, man, iconic themes. Like you put that and you listen on Spotify, you chuck that on, boom, you're like, right, I want to watch a film, I want to go play the game, I just want to fight something. No.
Well, I couldn't imagine doing that with the actual computer game music, because I've just remembered how it goes. It goes ding 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 ding. It's like blaring that out of the car on the way to work. Ding 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 ding.
Janice says, I used to love playing Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat games. Janice, I still love it. Still love it.
Yeah.
So the iconic Mortal Kombat theme, often referred to as Techno Syndrome by the Immortals, was a major factor in elevating the cultural status of the Mortal Kombat franchise. Interestingly, the theme wasn't originally composed for the 1995 movie adaptation, but for a tie-in album promoting the video game. It's aggressively electronic beats and aggressive. And the shouted Mortal Kombat are actually derived from the early 90s rave scene, tapping into the high energy rebellious spirit of that era. The track's infectious energy and underscored by a clever use of sampled sound effects from the games, combined with early digital synthesizers, making it perfect audio match for the martial arts meets fantasy world of Mortal Kombat. The theme went on to become a worldwide hit, achieving something that very few video game soundtracks ever do. It became mainstream. Even decades later, instantly recognizable, and has been remixed and referenced in countless pop culture moments. Its enduring legacy has kept it synonymous with the Mortal Kombat brand, solidifying it as one of the most memorable video game themes of all time, like Beyonce's video. Interestingly, despite the close association with the franchise, Mortal Kombat theme was not originally used in any of the early Mortal Kombat video games. The track was composed by the Immortals for a 1994 album called Mortal Kombat The Album, which is a tie-in promotional soundtrack for the video games, but not part of the official game music at all. However, the theme's immense popularity and cultural significance led to it being incorporated in later parts of the franchise. Techno Syndrome made its first official appearance in a game with the 2011 reboot of Mortal Kombat, often referred to as Mortal Kombat 9. The iconic theme was used in the trailers. That's what I was telling you about with Damien. In the trailers, used in the trailers and marketing material, and a version of it was even featured. My eyes, man. Was even featured as the end credit song, which is class. The inclusion helped to bridge the nostalgia fans felt for the 1995 movie and their love for the evolving game series, adding a new layer of excitement to the reboot. Since then, the theme has appeared in various forms, including remixes, updated versions, most notably in the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie soundtrack, cementing its status as an irreplaceable part of the Mortal Kombat universe. 100%.
Cool. Reptile looked shite, didn't he?
I did. And you know what? I've got it here. I actually took a wee picture of wee Reppy. And that's no him, that's Goro. Reptile is here. What the fuck, man?
That's very, very like the robots at the end of the Power Rangers movie.
Oh, it is, man. It is. Stephen Neal says, yes, it's timeless. By the way, does anyone else notice Johnny Cage uses his spear throw in this movie? Does he?
Yeah.
From the first game.
Aye, that's how he kills. That's not how he kills Scorpion. He cuts Scorpion with a spear throw.
Right.
Just before he kills him.
Aye. See, I feel like sometimes you find out something new every time you watch it. Like for the first time that I ever watched it, I never actually realised, wait a minute, there's the big tower that you climb when you're beating shit at everybody. And only just when I watched it again there. Let's go a wee bit over to Goro here, right? Because we're talking about how Goro has what do you call it? the puppetry, right? I got a wee bit here, just a wee paragraph. We'll talk about Goro. God, I can't believe we're already an hour and 10, man. We've been right. This should have been a deep dive. Goro, the four-armed Shokan warrior, presented a significant challenge for the filmmakers of the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie. At the time, CGI was still in its infancy, so the character was brought to life using the impressive combination of animatronics and puppetry. Goro was created as a massive animatronic suit designed by the special effects team at Amgla Dynamics. The suit was worn by an actor from the waist down, while the upper, including Goro's torso, arms, and head, was fully animatronic. This upper body was controlled by a team of puppeteers who manipulated the facial expressions, lip movements, and the extra pair of arms. The intricate setup required 13 to 16 puppeteers to operate Goro, making it one of the most complex animatronic characters of its time. The result is an imposing, lifelike creature that blended seamlessly with the live-action cast, though the heavy animatronic also posed some filming challenges. Goro's limited mobility, the sheer complexity of coordinating the puppeteers meant that his scenes had to be carefully choreographed, which is why Goro's fight scenes are somewhat retained compared to other characters. Despite these characters, Goro, fair dues, Goro's practical effects were praised for their impressive execution, and he remains one of the standout characters from the film, embodying the physical presence and brutality of the video game character. Do you know what? Absolutely, I still think they've done phenomenal for what they did. Yeah,
absolutely. I commented on it earlier on. Like,
that's right.
The effort that must have went into that is beyond belief. Like I said, in my memory of it, I could have sworn it was a lot of stop motion. Obviously, there was none, and I kind of knew that about halfway through when I was like, I've not seen any stop motion. This is all puppetry. It's all practical. So that was cool. I like.
It was excellent. Also terrifying when I was a child. Steve Neal says Goro was cool. He looks like they modelled his face after the villain from the Van Damme film Cyborg, and Johnny Cage fights him. Van Damme influenced Johnny Cage.
Wait, is the baddie in Cyborg not Brian Thompson?
who is Raiden in part 2? What?
I think I'm right there. I think I'm right there. I might want to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure the bad guy. I'm pretty sure the bad guy in Cyborg was played by Brian Thompson.
Which is mental because he then becomes No, he's not Raiden. He's Shao Kahn.
Shao Kahn.
He becomes Shao Kahn. Aye. So the baddie. What was the in Cyborg? What was his name?
I don't know. It was Pish.
Mate. Brian Thompson, wasn't he in Cyborg?
He fucking was.
Mate. Who was he in Cyborg then?
I don't know. Like I said, it was crap. I've only seen it once.
Brian Thompson's no in Cyborg. Yeah, that's two. That's two now. He wasn't.
Sake.
No, it's some guy. See, even Steve Neal's having you, man. Thrown to the wolves. Steve obviously knows it. Steve obviously knows his Mortal Kombat. A couple more points here before we let you all go. In the original Mortal Kombat 1992 game, the character of Kano was Japanese American. However, Ed Boon and John Tobias were so impressed with how Trevor Goddard portrayed him in the movie that they retconned Kano's history in the future games to make him Australian. What? There you go. That answers that for you, by the way.
Even though he was English in this film. Cool.
Which they thought was Goddard's nationality, which they thought was Goddard's. They later learned that Goddard had a Cockney accent, which they had many viewers confused for Australian. Mate, that's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. Do you think that's awesome?
That's awesome. That's class. I can see why I can really see why you put the Billy Butcher thing in there now.
100%. Steve says he wears shades. It's not Brian Thompson. Tell you, it's two now.
Right. It's no Brian Thompson. I'll get it on a fucking t-shirt, right?
It's Vincent E. Honda Klein. It's Vincent Klein. He played a character called Fender. Get it ruined you, J Mac. You were fucking rang again. And here's another thing.
It's fucking ruined me. Right.
The violence was toned down for this to achieve the PG-13 rating. Cameron Diaz was cast as Sonya but broke her wrist and was recast. I get it with the cast. Brian Thompson was the villain in Cobra.
Maybe I just felt like his face fit Cyborg. And Cyborg's got the same number of letters as Cobra. So
Didn't try and backpedal now, J-Mac. You've made your bed, so lie in it. Carrie,
it doesn't even have the same number of letters.
Kari Hirokui Tagawagawa was brought back.
Wait, try that one again.
Kari Hiroki Kari Hiroki Tagawa, fucking Shang Tsung, was brought back to OK Shang Tsung in the game Mortal Kombat as the official Shang Tsung. Oh, to play, I think that's been auto-created. So he was brought back to play the game. That's right, because I've seen him in one of the games. That's mental.
Right.
Sonya,
That's
even
good.
Bridget does Sonya Blade's voice in the new ones as well. Which
Right.
Again, I think seeming to do stuff like that. Oh, sweet. Sean Connery was first choice to play Raiden. The problem here, outer realms, is you just need a wee slap. Could you imagine putting Sean Connery and Christophe Lambert back together again in Mortal Kombat? That'd have been carnage, man.
That'd have been pretty epic. Yeah, that's a cool thought.
Aye. You know the rules, Shang Tsung. You're not supposed to fight yet. You've got to
In fact,
wait till we're in the tournament.
That's probably why they never cast him. Imagine him trying to say Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung. Sometimes you just need a little slap.
Shang Tsung. Oh, can I try that again? Shang Tsung. Fuck it, I
Ha
quit.
ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Enough. Right? That'd be great, eh? Oh, that would have been something. AI, we've got AI. Raiden, Sonya, and Johnny actors reprise their roles in Mortal Kombat 11 as DLC. What? So Christophe Lambert actually does the DLC for Raiden, which I think's super. Sonya does. I had mentioned that. As does Johnny.
That's cool.
Phenomenal, man. Christophe Lambert will return to Mortal Kombat when the Sora technology is more advanced. I wish Damien was here to put what the hell Sora technology is in brackets for me, so I didn't look like I'd have to. That sounds amazing. And do you know what? I think with Mortal Kombat, I don't think we've really, well, in my opinion, don't think we've really had a bad game of Mortal Kombat. I think they're pretty awesome. We are expecting, I think, next year, the part 2 of the latest Mortal Kombat film. J-Mac, we're here an hour and 20 minutes when we usually wrap up over an hour. We've obviously got right into this, which has been excellent.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Way more than I expected to. And I'm not going to turn around with a wee twist at the end to say I thought it was shite. I genuinely had a good time watching it. And both me and my son agreed it was fucking 10 times better than Street Fighter.
Well, that's true. I did not have a bad time watching it at all.
The fights were pretty well choreographed for a film like this. It's never going to be as good looking as Hong Kong martial arts films and stuff like that. But for an American-made martial arts film, it was pretty well put together. The acting was what you'd expect. Nobody in this is ever going to win an Oscar for it, but it was enough to keep you engrossed in the film and actually care about what happens, which I never did with Street Fighter. I couldn't give a fuck if Guile died in a big fire. Could not care less. But there was this. I mean, that was Jean-Claude Van Damme that played that character. This film was fully essentially unknowns playing the heroes, and I actually did give a fuck. So I think it wins, man. It's IMDb score of 5.8. Maybe a wee bit harsh. I'd put it at like a 6.5. So I had a good time.
I'm sitting way up at 8, only because it like hits me in the feels. Steve says they actually went and offered the role of Raiden to Connery first. By the way, and I bet you he went, this one's not for me, but I do have a friend.
On the 50th time, he's like, 50 no's and a no means no.
Connery is like, no, but I think a friend of mine, Christophe Lambert, would be right for the role. I just said that before. See, look at this. We're on tandem here. Typos, my life.
Steve, are you pals with Christophe Lambert? Is that what that said? Is he friends with him?
No. He says Connery is like, no, but I think a friend of mine, Christophe Lambert, would be right for the role. He's talking from Connery's perspective, man. See, no,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve,
I misread
we
that.
also
Sorry. Did you know that the guy for fucking Speed's in this? I know.
we know we share with you the same thing. We would love to be friends with Christophe Lambert, but he can't see worth a fuck these days, so he's unlikely going to come on the podcast. But we have asked him very many times, and we've covered Highlander to the nth degree on this. We've done a big deep dive of Highlander, which was excellent in our archives. So you seem like our type of dude, Steve. You seem like the same type of films as us. So it's been a pleasure having you chime in tonight, Steve, with your knowledge.
Hey, thanks for
I
coming.
hope you have your own podcast as well. I want to be friends with him, as do we. We feel like we already are. So this has been excellent. I've actually loved talking about this film. It felt great. So the question is Mortal Kombat timeless? Motherfucker, you're damn right it is, because that's how many years now? Nearly 30 years, and I'm still loving it, and it still makes me feel like a child. So absolutely. And thank you, Steve. Thank you for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure. We are live, by the way, every Sunday at 9 p.m. unless said otherwise. But most weeks we are 9 p.m. on a Sunday. Make sure you check out. If there's stuff you'd like us to cover, send us a wee email. Tell us what you'd like us to cover. We look into it. A lot of the time we do it. Coming up next Sunday, best and worst horror movies 2020 to 2024 edition with special guests. I made this graphic before it was confirmed with the War Department whether or not Matthewman would be on. But Craig Matthewman will be joining us, as well Wolfman's Got Nards, Barry of Wolfman's Got Nards. He's one hell of a YouTuber. Go check out his stuff if you haven't already. Not that he needs us to plug his stuff, because he's a fucking wizard on it. Janice says, always a pleasure tuning in to you guys. Hey, Janice, what would this show be without you? Janice will be on a Christmas special where we will be deep diving Gremlins. So we're looking forward to Janice's debut on a podcast coming this December. Yes, it's a classic. What's a classic?
Mortal Kombat.
All right, aye. Subscribe. Oh,
Hey!
a pleasure, Steve. Thank you very much for subscribing. As Janice, ditto, my friend. So next Sunday we will be live here. Make sure you go check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and all that stuff. We post regularly, ask you guys questions. But anybody that's tuning in next week, bring to the table your top 5 favorite films, 2020 to 2024 horror films. What films for you do you believe in 10 years' time you'll be still going, that's a great film, I can't believe I watched it. I watch it regularly. From the year 2020 to 2024, the best horror films for you. It's all subjective. Bring a list of 5. All he is. It doesn't matter. Matthewman's on the show. Wolfman's Got Nards on the show. We'll be there, but yous will be there in the comments. So we need to hear as much for you guys as well. And we need to hear if you agree with us, disagree with us, all that cool stuff. Oh, hey. Castellar Daniel Garcia says, fatality. Loved Deber Camp 86.
Aye, me too, mate.
I don't know if that's a typo, but if it's not, I'm going to go and check it out. Do always tell us the stuff you love. Before we go, ourselves for a wee minute before it's time to go. Deer Camp 86. All right, we'll definitely check that out. Have you seen Lambert's new film, It's Not Over? Not yet. I'm going to go and check it out before it's over. Joking. So joking. But yeah, we'll definitely check it out.
He's just walked in and he can't hear the music, and I'm just like, well, fucking idiot. Just finishing up.
Right, guys, thank you very much, and we will see you guys next Sunday. Thanks for subscribing, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll bloody see you later, alligators. Thanks again. Peace to you all, and have a great week. J Mac.
Same. See you next week for a fucking cracker.
We'll be good. It'll be good. See you later, guys. Goodbye.